Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gifts, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, glad to have you here. Oh look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee?
I don't drink coffee.
You sure? It's cultist coffee.
What makes it cultist coffee?
I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it.
Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is great to be here with you this Sunday. I hope everyone is doing great. Welcome to my home, welcome to the office, and welcome to the morning grind. It is great to be here with you, and I see so many people here. Let's see, Zero the Blade is here. Good morning, good morning. Lynn is here. Sable is here. Yes, made it this morning. Sable was catching up on sleep last morning grind, I remember. Dungeon Master's here. It's great to have you. Micah is here. Mike says, Mike is also working on an RPG. Mike says, just crossed the 20,000 word milestone for the RPG I'm writing. Wow, that is fantastic. Yes, that is a lot of writing. We'll have to learn more about that. Hey, PH, good morning. It's good to see you. All right, well, I hope everybody is doing well. We're going to be talking about the Cultists RPG this morning again. So this is our second round on this. And a lot of progress is being made. I got some different things to show you. I think we're going to get to do some fun, creative side of things stuff today. A lot of things have been going on. I'm dual streaming this. I'm dual streaming this episode. Let me pull up this. on the Cultists YouTube channel itself. So this is kind of a cross-purpose stream. So I'm live streaming this on the Cultists YouTube channel. And if you are not already there, oh look, Cthulhu Orgy right there. Hopefully you've seen that episode. If you're watching on the Heath's Geekverse channel and you're not already subscribed to the Cultists, I hope that you will come over to the Cultist channel. Let me put this link over here. The Cultists, and also watch some. All the Cultist season 1 is only an hour long in total. And if you haven't seen it, getting some additional watch hours on the Cultist YouTube channel would be huge. So we've got a season 1 playlist right there, trailer, and then 10 episodes. Each episode's like 5 to 7 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, something like that. And then I have commentary on the first 5 episodes. If you want some behind the scenes look at the Cultists and what it actually took to create it, well, I've got behind the scenes on the first 5 episodes that I talked about as the show's creator and producer. Hey, and if you haven't seen this before, because maybe you are on the Cultist channel, my name is Heath, and I am the creator, producer, and co-writer of the show. I do want to do some additional commentary. I want to finish. I don't feel like it's completely finished until I have done all of the commentary on the season 1. So I need to do some more episodes on that. And also, I'd like to do a behind the scenes look at creating the Cthulhu brand, which gets burned on one of the characters' face. I had video of all of that. It was done differently for season 1 and season 2. I would do a season 1 branding episode or video. And then Brianna's director's commentary is here as well. Oh, I still have not re-uploaded the bloopers. So the bloopers, the audio on the bloopers was a bit soft because we did revise the audio on all the season 1 episodes before it was uploaded to its own channel over here. And it looked like the bloopers had gotten skipped. So I took them down. And so I need to fix that and put the bloopers back up. But anyway, all of that is over here on the Cultist channel. And hey, if you are on the Cultist channel, but you are not familiar with the main channel, well, the main channel is Heath's Geekverse. And this is where typically the morning grind streams. I'm going to put this over here. Heath's Geekverse. I'm giving away another. We're talk about the giveaway here in a moment. But I'm also doing a test here. This is also a tech test this morning because I set up a locals, and I guess this is what it looks like when you're logged in, ravenkeep.locals as a test. So you can see I think this means that I should be live streaming over here on the locals platform as well. Just kind of as a test. Let me see what this looks like if I'm not logged in. Let me get a private window up. And the reason I'm doing this is I kind of set that up as a test. Oh yeah, so there we go. Here. I haven't made it pretty yet or something like that. And I don't so I just put up this locals thing, which is like Patreon, but we've got 2 particular purposes for it because people have asked about the RPG, the coffee shop, and about having more access to the coffee shop and things like that. And that still means that, and that's, I am potentially interested in doing that. Still running RavenCon, what was supposed to be monthly, but we missed this month because of the family situation. But also potentially having greater access to that. And I've also been looking for a way to have some material while we're here with the live streams that other people don't get. I tried to experiment with going to a different live stream or creating additional live streams. And that really wasn't working because when we're together live in the mornings and in the evenings for table talk, that's kind of when we're all together. And so putting in another live stream, there's a lot of live streaming when we're doing a morning grind each morning. And I want to get back to that. That's still kind of in the future, but that's still a lot of live streaming. And I think it makes the most sense if there was a public portion of the show and then a private portion of the show. And that makes complete sense for YouTube to be able to do that with channel memberships and things like that, but it actually doesn't. And so I was looking at Patreon, but Patreon doesn't allow live streaming to its platform. You can post a live stream, but you have to create one privately on YouTube and then post it out to Patreon and post the link. So that's not exactly what I'm talking about. So I was looking at Patreon, which is kind of a Patreon alternative, because it does allow live streaming, but I'm not sure if it does exactly what we want it to do. We are going to find out. So I just set it up so that I could run this test today, because it may be that what can happen is that I can stream publicly for a while, and then, for the last, 10 or 15 minutes or something like that, then just go private, or, turn off all of the public streams, and then perhaps still be streaming on locals. So I don't know. I'm going to find out. I'm going to run the whole test today and then try to do that and turn it off and just see if that works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but that's why we're testing it. And then if it does work, then another thing that could happen is that anybody who is a channel member, I could cut that. I could go and edit out that that end that was for the locals, and then post that to channel members over here on YouTube. So they have two different options and things like that. So trying to come up with some type of system for all of that. So that's just an experiment running here. So I'm trying to always improve things and make things better. Let's see. Good morning, BGD. Good morning. Let's see. Oh, you were on the Cultist stream. Yes. So Len says, I already watched the Cultist before you made a separate channel for them, but I suppose it's time for a rewatch. That would be great. Hey, James, I'm here. Says I crashed late last night and gave my zero dams about the alarm I set. Now, I was up. I've gotten, seems like I'm back on sort of biphasic sleep. I woke up and I was working on the RPG this morning. Then I went back to sleep before the show. So I've got this up now. What I've chosen to not do quite yet. I've got two main things that I've got to finish in order to get this RPG going. And that's actually get the RPG itself finished and proofed. I got the final file from from Adam M. Botsford, the illustrator of the cover. So I got that in. And I believe on Wednesday, I want Brianna to be working on layout. So that's why I've been working on the internal text of this RPG. And then once I have the RPG done and the proof ordered, and also the Kickstarter page finished, then I'm going to turn all of my attention to marketing. I've got splitting my time between several things, including the winery here. So I don't want to try to be doing the RPG, the Kickstarter page, and marketing all at the same time. So I've got the marketing pages set up. So this is the Cultist $500 Elder Dice giveaway. So if you have not signed up for that, I'm going to be promoting it a lot more later. But if you are here, the launch of the Cultists on YouTube. The new channel, season 1 on YouTube, and the RPG on Kickstarter is going to be accompanied by a $500 Elder Dice giveaway. Brianna made some nice banners for this giveaway and things like that as well. So, but right now, if you're here and have not signed up, that is the place to go. Got lots of dice. Got some beautiful dice to give away. That's what the cover is going to look like. I do really love the cover of this book. We're going to have, I'll show you the Kickstarter page. We got the shirts too. I want to make sure that we're promoting and advertising the shirts, because these are fantastic design shirts, I think. So I want and they're going to be on the Kickstarter page. Got Cthulhu dice. And of course, that's the brand of Cthulhu that was designed, that David LaRocca designed for Infinite Black and the Journey to the Tree of Sorrows. And then that's the symbol that Mike spoofed in the Cultists when he was doing the brand. So it has that connection as well. Grand prize sets you can't get anywhere else. I got Doom Edition brand of Cthulhu sets. Those were Kickstarter exclusive, but I've got them over here. So that's the link. So sign up there. And then, of course, you'll know when all of this goes live. The email lists are the best way, I think, to do this, because, I mean, you can't trust algorithms. So if you want to know what's going on, the email list is a good way to do that. Brianna and I were working on the Kickstarter page. So we got this. We're not starting at zero here. Brianna put this together, this image. I really like this. So this isn't a publicly available preview yet because it's not finished. So, but hopefully on Wednesday, we'll get to where I can submit this to Kickstarter and then get some kind of public sign-up link here. So we've got the Cthulhu Cultist role-playing game right here. We got I'm going to put together a how to play in 5 minutes right here. What is the Cultists? We've got the this graphic here. A lot of these were done by Brianna. I've embedded the trailer here. Pledge. I'm not sure why this is here. This is not final, but we're going to have a digital. None of this graphic is final, including these pledge prices and things like that. The Cultists RPG digital playtest. I'm going to put together the digital PDF rather. We'll put together a digital tabletop, virtual tabletop play with it as well as we'll let people in and watch Cultist Season 2 before we actually release Season 2. We'll release Season 2 on YouTube after the RPG Kickstarter. Then we'll have the physical soft copy book. That's what I've got to get the proof done for. The scripts, I'm working on a player's pack for this, and then also the scripts. Then you can go increase and get a shirt. The designs were too good to not have stickers. So I'm looking at, I've gotten stickers done. I used to have stickers of the coffee symbols. But while I was making those, I was like, I might as well make thank you, Mama Shub, and all hail the Black Goat, and you can't summon Cthulhu with sour cream and onion stickers as well. So we're going to put the stickers on there. Hey, Keith. Good morning, Keith. And then 3 T-shirts, and then all the T-shirts as well. So we're going to have the Cultist coffee logo. I mean, obviously a spoof of the Starbucks logo. I think it's great. So this will be the place. I'm not going to be able to, these are going to be unisex shirts. They're going to be unisex shirt sizes. They're not something, hey, Robert, good to see you. I saw the picture that you posted in the Discord server. So shirts are one of those things that I can't just stock because they're going to be unisex shirts, but you're going to have small, medium, large, extra large, extra large, all of that. So doing this, having the shirts on a crowdfunding campaign will work nicely. That way I can get your shirt size and then I can send out the shirts that everybody wants. But Cultist coffee, I mean, you'd think that one would be popular. But also the Witch's Brew shirt right here. Love that. All hail the Black Goat of the Woods with 1,000 Young. Thank you, Mama Shub shirt. And then the you can't summon Cthulhu with sour cream and onion. So perfect. So we're going to have those shirts there. I've been thinking about a couple of other things. This is what I've been thinking about over the past couple of weeks, past weeks, not even a week really, since Brianna and I worked on this, like with stretch goals and things like that, because I can do it. I've thought of a few things to add on here, but really, I want to make. Because we got a section here. What about a new season of the Cultists right here? That's really what I would like to do. Because if we're going to be able to do this, and we're running out of time, I lost a week because of the family situation, so we're behind. But we're also just in general behind. I'm still in the mode thinking that this is spring, but really now we're moving into summer, and so we really need to. If anything like that's going to happen, we really need to be shooting in the fall, especially since Brianna has gotten good news about one of her scripts, and she's anxious to go ahead and get out to LA and take it and actually get to pitching it and trying to produce it next year. But in order to make that happen, she's got to have stuff that demonstrates what type of, at a high level, what it is that she can create. And I want that to be the Cultists, because I'm just doing two more live action shows. I'm only interested in doing 2 more things that are live action. The Cultist Season 3, that I want to be done very well and kind of prove what can be done from the perspective of creating a web show and doing it very well, and producing it at a high level. But then also Brianna's got a short horror film that she needs to do, because the script that she's trying to do is a horror story, and so she needs an actual horror story as well. And so I'm thinking about adding in here as part of the story here that the stretch goals are really to try to get the Cultists and that short horror film produced. And that may take more than one Kickstarter. I mean, it would be great if we're able to get this done and enough people are interested to come out and do the Cultists with us, get the Cultists the next season made. But it may be something that goes on over the next few Kickstarters or something like that, because I've got the board game as well for the Cultists. But I'm trying to do this Kickstarter with just without having to go to overseas manufacturing. So I think we try to raise the money to get the Cultists done and get Brianna's short film done, and then be in production in the fall. I mean, that's an intense schedule. It's an intense schedule. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that? There are a few things related to the RPG that we can do, but I mean, rather than, an extra cards or something like that, I mean, getting another season done is really what this would all be about. We'll have everything else available as add-ons. I was boxing up stuff, and I've got some shipping right here. We're going to be doing flat rate shipping, basically. I've got the flat rate shipping boxes, and so that way, because I'm also not anticipating going to a dedicated shipping agent for this. So I'm thinking about, setting up the entire shipping operation here, which I've done before. But in order to simplify it, like, we'll just do a flat rate shipping. And that way, if you got physical rewards and you're doing some kind of add-on or something like that, then you can just add it on and it'll go in the box, So, and then we put together our crew right here, so you know who is involved. So I'm the creator, producer, co-writer. There's Brianna, the director, designer, the graphic designer here, and the co-writer. Brennan, that's the director of photography, the editor, the sound mixer. Carol Stewart is our production manager and photographer. Megan, the head of costuming, special effects, makeup. Kenna is the digital technology assistant and data wrangler, assistant editor. Put Adam on here as the illustrator for the book. And then here's all our cast: Peter Swanson, Dax Rocker, Glenn Payne, Leon Skye, Mallory Ivy, Rachel Marshall, Rebecca Yeager, Thomas Robinson, Ava Conley, Sarah Randolph, Charlotte Shorrell, and Jim Burke. So I don't know. We'll see. I want to. I'm really looking forward to putting my mind on the marketing and trying to get this out in front of a lot of people. Thank you very much. Juan says, love your content. Wishing you guys the best. Thank you. Coming in from Facebook. Thank you so much. All right. So I guess that's all our kind of notes this morning. So that's what's going on. There's a lot going on. I wish I had more time at the moment to actually finish all of this. But I've been waking up early and trying to get this book finished. Let me pull that up. We should do a breathe and sip. And you know what? I'm going to get some more. I've got Coke Zero this morning. It's starting to get warm here in Alabama. Once it starts getting warm, I actually don't drink as much coffee. Here we go. No, it is not live. That's not even a live preview yet. I'm still working on that page. So no, that is not live. You guys were getting an example of what's coming. So if there's something that you think was wrong, or whatever else, you get some kind of preview so you know what's happening. That's what Brianna and I were building out. I still have got to submit that to Kickstarter. The last time I'd never had a problem like submitting a draft of the campaign to Kickstarter for review, because they say it doesn't have to be finished. So I typically put together a pretty good draft and then go ahead and submit it to them. But last time I did that, they were like, no, you need more information on the Kickstarter page before we can approve it. So I was like, okay, so it doesn't have to have all the videos in. I'm still going to go through video creation, but I got to submit that. But it's not live yet, but sign up, then you'll know, and everybody will know. But I got to finish the material to get to the proof section, and then put it out. And also, if you have places that we should go, like with Doug, you guys recommended some different live streams and podcasts and things like that you think Doug should have gone on for or should go on for the Heroine's Labyrinth. I want to do the same thing for the Cultists, because I think there are a lot of people out there who don't know about what the Cultist is and what we're trying to do, who I think would be interested. And so I want to do a lot of outreach to different live streams and different channels and things like that for the Cultists. So, all right, let's breathe and sip. Well, okay, hang on. Let me refill. Then we'll breathe and sip. So let's go ahead and do a Yeti hug break. Get your drink ready. If you don't have your drink, go get your drink. We'll breathe and sip, and then we'll get into this RPG. Oh, it's time for a Yeti hug break. Yeti hug break. Yeti hug break. Everybody go hug yo Yeti and show yo Yeti some love. All right. Got my cup here. Let's breathe and sip. Let's take 2 deep breaths in through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Deep inhale, complete exhale. And then let's take a sip of our favorite beverage this morning. So here we go. Deep breaths. Here we go. And sip. That was very good. That was good. That was very good. Did anybody breathe and wheeze the juice?
Think you wheeze a little juice. No, wheezing the juice.
Let us know. All right, let's see here. All right, let's bring up the text of this. Okay, a lot has been done here. And I was talking with I was talking to Craig Campbell, who put together the Low Stakes with Nerdburger Games. And I was talking to him, and we were talking about, rather than making this an actual like extension of Low Stakes, that he wanted me to change up some things in it, which is no problem at all. So one of the things that I was doing the other day, or spent a few sessions doing, was going through and modifying like some of the terminology and things in this. So like we're using courage and sway and headaches and asides and things like that. So I did go through and I changed up some of the terminology in here. So we went through a lot of what the book is basically like. The last in part 1, it's changed a little bit in terms of the phraseology, or the terms that we use for different things. So I went through and I replaced those. And then it's also been cleaned up. I've been through made about 3 edit passes through the main part of the rule book. So I think we're looking pretty good. I don't think we need to go through all of that again today, because yes, we looked at an earlier version, but substantially, as far as the way that this goes, the way that's structured and what the rules are, I don't think have changed all that much in a substantive sense. But I was cleaning up sentences, and here we go, things like that. So getting started, we got a getting started section that's got the introduction, game overview, what you need to play, character sheet. Then we're gonna have character sheet explained. When we do layout here, what we'll do is put a character sheet in here with bubbles and things like that, so you understand all the different parts. It's a very simple kind of character sheet. Then the section on how to play. So we're going how to play before creating a character, how to play, story structure and scenes, and then setting the stage. So this is actually, okay, this is called getting started now. I did write a section on magic and the cultists, and I posted this to the Discord server in the Cultist RPG. So this I did a few days ago because I wanted to say something, and we didn't have this last time. We didn't have this last time I was working. We were at this. So I do have this. This is magic and the cultists. So are the elder gods actually out there? Is magic real? In the Cultist web series, the elder gods arguably do not exist, and our heroes are simply delusional or just really want to believe. The Cultist is also deliberately non-committal regarding the existence of magic. Shay and Acantha do occasionally pop into scenes, surprising the other cultists with their presence. Have they actually transported themselves through space and maybe even time using arcane mathematical formulae, as in Lovecraft's Dreams of the Witch House? Maybe they have, or maybe something much more mundane is going on. Most of the time, the audience understands what the characters interpret as magical effects are actually entirely coincidental. But that does not have to be the case in the game. Maybe Acantha's magic potions have real and supernatural effects. Maybe Shay wasn't just joking around when she explained to Ben how she has a history of using spells to help people shuffle off the mortal coil. By and large, this RPG has chosen not to give explicitly magical powers to the characters and is non-committal about the existence of alien gods trapped in deathless sleep in non-Euclidean structures beneath the waves. However, that does not mean that players at the RPG table have to share those assumptions. The way players choose to portray magic in the Cultist RPG is up to them. The key is to make sure they are all on the same page. As this is an improvisational game, A core element is that players should accept, integrate, and expand on story elements brought into the game by other players. This means players probably should not have their characters casting actual magic spells or communing with the elder gods if the other players feel it is out of place in the narrative. As long as everyone at the table has bought into the assumptions being made, there are many great stories that can be told with a variety of different takes on the existence of magic and the elder gods. Do what is most fun for everyone at the table. So that's the section that was added in. Then we go into establishing the lead character or the lead player. I just got the lead, so there's a player and a character. I combined that because it was talking about in the original low stakes, the lead character and the lead player. But, those are together. The lead character is played by the lead player. So, yes, even though players and characters are different, I just combine that into the lead. I was also trying to streamline the rules and maybe even kind of improve the structure of them a little bit as I was going. The scene moderator. So this is this change, establishing the scene moderator. This is what was called the extra player in low stakes. And I thought that was kind of weird, extra player, but it was talking about playing extras, like extras in a show. So you're the one playing the extras. But to me, that sounded like extra player at the table. So I used the word scene moderator here. Let's see. And you know what? Something just came up and said that we were having trouble streaming to your destination, and that's the locals test. So I was afraid of that. So later on, that's why we're running a test here. So I will check later and see what actually happened with over there on locals. Has it been 30 minutes? See, one additional problem that I think might be the case is that locals might limit you to a 30-minute live stream. So Patreon doesn't allow you to live stream. And if Patreon limits you to a 30-minute live stream, what kind of use is that for us? Who does a 30-minute live stream? So that may be the case. We've been going for 32 minutes. So that may have already come up. So it may have automatically cut us off on local. So after the show, I'll go look and see what's going on. If it's only 30 minutes worth of stream time, then it's not going to help us. Well, on the other hand, maybe that means I could start the local stream later. I have to figure out how to do that. Try to start some kind of test on that. Don't know. That's why we're running tests. PH is going to be casting Fireball. Robert says, but if the characters are convinced the gods are real, shouldn't it be the case that the interactions are things that will be coincidences that are misinterpreted as omens? Right. Yes. So most of the time, the audience understands what the characters interpret as magical effects are actually entirely coincidental. So should we put in another sentence that, but that just, that can be the case in the game as well. So we could say what you're saying. Is that covered? Hey, Tomocrat. Good morning, Tomocrat. So Robert says, so they do a rain dance and the clouds come out, but no rain. So we need a sacrifice. Yes. So why don't we say this? So most of the time, the audience understands what the characters interpret as magical effects are actually entirely coincidental. This can be the case in the game as well. Players might cast spells that coincidentally work, or they might misinterpret. I like what you're going for here, Robert. Misinterpret or they might misinterpret ordinary occurrences as omens from the gods. Does that help cover that? So now it says most of the time the audience understands that what the characters interpret as magical effects are actually entirely coincidental. This can be the case in the game as well. Players might cast spells that coincidentally work, or they might misinterpret ordinary occurrences as omens from the gods. But that does not have to be the case in the game. Maybe Acantha's magic potions have real and supernatural effects. Maybe Shay wasn't just joking around when she explains to Ben how she has a history of using spells to help people shuffle off the mortal coil. Tomocrat says, delayed magic. It happens, but then they don't see it happen and it fails. Micah says, that was more or less what my point was, and well, in terms of a compromise as default, rather than being firm on it being definitely not real. Okay. All right. So this is a good sentence to add in here then, because that's the way I was going. I mean, that was my thinking as well. And I say arguably. In the Cultist web series, the Elder Gods arguably do not exist. But they certainly interpret things as messages from the gods, yes. Robert says, yes, I think that helps clarify the players are supposed to try and interact with the gods, even if it's not supposed to be real. Okay. All right, great. Perfect. Thank you. Barbarians of Lemuria. I don't know that one. Has something that might help. Let's see. Okay, so then, we're talking about the lead. Establishing the scene moderator. Determine the scene. Adjudicating actions. We've got courage, sway, checks, headaches, and decides. Our meta currencies are courage, which represents the character's inner determination, and then sway is when the character has the upper hand among its fellow cultists. Performing a check, when you're rolling a die, if you're adding courage points, you're adding more than one die, and you're trying to roll over a DC, which is either a 5 or a 6. Headaches are things that go wrong, and then asides are delivering your character when your character addresses the imaginary audience, which is such a fantastic part of low stakes and really makes this suitable for the cultists. Concluding the story. Now, I did also put this for playing a campaign. Did we talk about this? Let's talk about playing a campaign and then playing the game with a game master, because some people would like to see it game mastered. Low Stakes was originally designed as a GM-less role-playing game, but I think you could definitely put a GM inside of it, just with the minimum change of the rules. So this one might have changed quite a bit. So playing the game, the Cultists, because I think this is also important if you're going to be doing multiple shows, multiple games. Playing the game, playing a campaign rather. The Cultist RPG is often played as a one-off or one-shot game with players coming together for a single session, selecting characters, and then playing out a standalone narrative arc. However, some groups may want to play the same characters over the course of several games. This will allow them to not only more deeply develop their characters, but also weave a longer story, much in the same way multiple episodes of the web series can form a longer story arc. The Cultist does not have a method to level up or advance a character like some other RPGs, but it does have a mechanism for character change, because the same character can be played with different narrative roles. For instance, arguably, Rob plays multiple different narrative roles during the Cultists, including the Grump, the Critic, and the True Believer, but often a single episode focuses on only one of these roles. Likewise, Acantha is both the Metachromism and the Caretaker. Ben begins as the Novitiate, but becomes a True Believer. Therefore, players are free to keep the same character for a future session, but switch up which narrative role they play based on the changing situations in the story. And actually, I like this quite a bit. Because, yes, character advancement in the Dungeons and Dragons sense is like, constantly getting more powers and getting new skills and abilities and having more and more stuff your character can do. That's fun. I mean, that can certainly be fun. But we've talked about quite a bit here over the morning grind that change is important. It doesn't always have to be that the character is getting so much more, powerful. It's that this character could be changing from session to session. And so this is I think, a pretty elegant way to have characters change and play off one another. So switching narrative roles may often be driven by the events in a previous game session. A character might originally show up as a skeptical LARPer, but then have a family crisis that causes him to lean further into the cult and become a novitiate, and be tempted back to the mundane world, playing the role of the conflicted, and then finally having a personal religious experience that causes him to become a true believer. Even comedic stories can address serious themes and explore serious topics. In fact, humor is often a great way to explore topics that one might not want to address more directly. The Cultists involves themes of belonging, grieving the loss of a friend, and personal growth. Players who wish to explore such topics may find that embracing character change across play sessions is an important tool. I'm going to have to look at this. Barbarians of Lemuria. Let me make a note of this. Look up Barbarians of Lemuria. Hey, Retro. Welcome. I know, we'll probably do like a watch party or something on Retro's channel. We're launching the Cultists here. PH says, once a character had to climb the tallest tower in the village at noon, get naked, cover himself in tar and feathers, and dance imitating a bird to perform a magic spell. It was a blast. Okay, so that's playing a campaign, and I think that's an important section right here. You know, that wasn't addressed in the original low stakes game, but to me, that seems like an obvious way to deal with character change and character growth. So then, playing the game with a game master. We say, even though the Cultist RPG is designed to be played without a game master, some groups may be more comfortable with having a player adjudicate the game in the style of a more traditional role-playing game. The Cultist RPG can accommodate this playstyle with a minimum revision to the rules. Instead of having players rotate into the role of the scene moderator, the players may have one person adopt the role for the entire game, rather than having a player character. The scene moderator role plays the extras and NPCs in the scene and takes on a greater role in adjudicating the success or failure of the player character's actions and what the result is. The scene moderator will also determine when making a check is necessary. Whenever it's time to consult the beat sheet, the scene moderator can roll for the scene or choose the next scene that makes logical sense for the story. Scene moderators makes the most logical sense, most logical, or comedic sense. Because that could see, like, not taking the most logical one, but taking the most comedic would be something to do. So whenever it's time to consult the beat sheet, the scene moderator can roll for the scene or choose the next scene that makes the most logical or comedic sense for the story. Scene moderators with a grasp of story and greater improvisational abilities, I would say greater, may forego the beat sheet and develop the story on the fly as the game progresses. Some people may want to be permanent scene moderators because they have a vision for an entirely new story or situation for the players to engage with. That can be an excellent way to play. However, game masters shouldn't spend too long prepping for a game of the Cultist RPG. Games are intended to be focused on how characters respond to their initial ridiculous situation, with further scenes being highly driven by the actions of their characters take in response. Resist the urge to railroad the players with a predetermined story arc. Let the game go where the hijinks takes it. So then we go into creating a character, and I know this is the section where we need work, where we need to we're going to start doing some work here. But let's go look at character creation because it's short, and then we got to make sure that we've got all of our narrative roles defined. And I'll show you some of the changes that I made with those here. So character creation. Every player will need a character to play. Players are free to choose any of the pre-generated characters in the back of the book, which include many of the characters in the Cultist web series. However, the players may also create their own character to play using the following steps. 1. Select a narrative role. In the Cultist RPG, the most important thing about a character is the narrative role they play in the group and in the story. Generally, groups should only include one character of a particular narrative role. This gives each player a definable niche to fill when creating the story. Narrative roles in the Cultist RPG include the caretaker, the critic, the conflicted, the dandy, the grouch, the lackey, the larper, the maverick, the metachromism, the novitiate, the outsider, and I want to change this one. I know the name of this needs to change. The provocateur and the true believer. Tomocrat wants to play the larper. So that is, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so that is 13. We thought 13 was a good number. Now, one thing that changed was that we had the elder god just hanging out. But I'm going to move that one out of the book. We still need to have that one, but I'm going to move that one out of the book and have it be something separate, like perhaps on a card or something like that. Because one of the things that I thought we really needed was the novitiate. We didn't have the novitiate in here, like somebody just starting out. But since the elder god just hanging out does kind of concretize the fact that the elder gods exist, and we were just talking about how this is kind of non-committal on that in other ways, I thought it was kind of out of place to have elder god hanging out in the core book, but it can be added on as a card. I'm taking inspiration from what Kelsey did with Shadow Dark, that the stretch goals, if there was something added on, it was not something that she had to go lay out the book again for, which I really liked. Those things were done, but as extra cards and things like that that came with the pledges. So I'm kind of taking a cue from that. I thought that was a really great way to go. Sable Phoenix says provocateur is calling my name. I remember you liked the conflicted too last time. Okay, so that's the list that we've got. Select your cult. Now this is the major creative things that have to be done are finishing up the narrative roles, finishing the cults, or writing the cults really, and then using them to generate the characters, and then the beat sheet. So there's still quite a bit to do, but I think it's been a major thing to get all of that basic text written out for the actual rules, because I really want to be able to. Brianna started the layout just in the last 30 minutes of working together last Wednesday. So she was trying to wrap her head around the project and started a basic kind of layout. This is going to be a 6x9 book. We're looking for 48 pages. So I think it's going to be like a 48-page long book, which is, and we're talking about here, we talked about that a lot, that trying to standardize different kind of products. That's what I was trying to create. The Trial of St. Gabriel didn't become 48 pages. So it wasn't quite what we said we were trying to create, but this one will be 48-page, 6x9 books. What if LARPer was an NPC class, like people who surround the cultists, maybe friends or foes? Well, we had a pretty neat idea, I thought, about having the LARPer be part of the show, and I think we've got a way to do that. So select your cult. Perhaps the most interesting thing about playing the Cultist RPG is being a member of one of the many Lovecraftian cults. Players are free to combine their narrative role with membership in whatever cult they choose. Players might all choose to be part of the same cult, or might choose to be from a variety of different cults, like in the Cultist web series. Hey, let me also, I don't think I actually put in an invite to the server, to the Ravenkeep server, and I should. So let me copy this over here and say invite to the Ravenkeep web server, because we're live streaming in multiple locations right now. So if you are here and you're not part of the Ravenkeep web server, Ravenkeep Discord server, rather, the Discord server, you can get this link and come on in, because that's where I always post like an update when we're going live and things like that. So if you feel like you're not getting YouTube or Facebook notifications or things like that, there we go. Mike says, I like the LARPer as a class. It's a hilarious idea and provides many comedic opportunities. So select your cult. BGD says, what does your page allocation breakdown for the different sections of your rules look like? How are you doing doling out your 48 pages? That will help you focus your writing and editing a lot. I actually don't have a great answer to that question right now. That's why I was hoping we would get more done last Wednesday when we were working together, Brianna and I. But making some of the graphics for the Kickstarter page was taking a while. So we only got to that, like got to look at this book again in the last 30 minutes. And that was good because I'm not quite finished with this book. So I'm going to do a lot of writing before next Wednesday. But I do know that like each one of these classes right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, will have its own page. So those are going to have their own page because that's going to be like a character sheet inside. So I do know that. So we're just gonna have to see how it fits. I told Brianna we're trying to do this in 48 pages. So I'll keep you posted on that. Let's see. Okay, so our narrative roles. The first one is the caretaker. Now we got to insult. We got to insult the cults. No, we've got to insert the cult list in here. So I got to come back and put that in once the cults are written. But here, the caretaker. You frequently take charge of critical tasks and see to the well-being of your fellow cultists. However, your dedication to supporting others leads you to overlook your own aspirations and desires, often resulting in personal setbacks. So this will be set up like a character sheet here. You know, Brianna will do some magic of her layout and graphic design here. Character name will have the list of cults right here that you check, which will have like some default power by it. And then here are your troubles. Right here, choose 3. Right, that's the right word, right? So define. Yep, troubles, sway skills. I don't know. And we might not have finished going through this. So maybe we didn't. So cult, define your character's abilities. Each cult has a special power. The section on cults in the back of this book has a variety of different recommended powers. We got to think about that. And you guys will probably have some great ideas. Alternatively, players can define what special power their character has when it comes up during play. Select 3 troubles. Each narrative role has a variety of possible troubles. Players should choose 3 of these and indicate them on their character sheet. Players are also free to come up with their own trouble and write it on the blank line of their character sheet. So there'll be a blank line there as well. 5, select 3 sway skills. Sway skills are things the character is particularly good at and may allow them to gain the upper hand over the other cultists. Possible sway skills are determined by the character's narrative role. Players should select 3 of the possible sway skills and indicate them on their character sheet. Players are also free to create their own sway skill and list it on the blank line, but if the players choose to create their own, it should be broadly applicable to a variety of situations. Don't make it too narrow. 6, indicate the character has 1 courage point. This can be done by taking a courage token if the players are using them or by marking it on the character sheet. Then give your character a name and then define any other relevant details. The players may define anything else they feel is important about the character, including their appearance, clothing, speech patterns, and quirks. You know, and then come to think of it, also the pre-generated characters are going to have character sheets. So how many pages is that? That's going to be too many. I don't know. We're going to find out. The intention is 48 pages. It may not work. We kind of just designed the cover to that. We're going to see. It may work fine. It may not. We'll see. That's a large chunk of the book being characters. We'll see. Well, if I use a 2-point font, yes, you can put a lot in there. What's important about 48 pages? This is about printing, Heath's goal, or some other reason. There is nothing magical about 48 pages. Other than I was trying to standardize a product. I was like, what are we making here? And so for the purposes of standardizing some things, let me put the solo. For the purposes of standardizing some things, I was like, what are the different book sizes that could be produced? And of course, you could say, well, they can just be whatever. I mean, you can just whatever it needs to be. But I kind of like to concretize what's actually trying to be made as far as the product goes. And so I really liked this little book here. This was Fate Accelerated right here. And this is a 6x9 book. And it's 48 pages. So they got all of Fate Accelerated here in 48 pages in a 6x9 book. And I was like, this is kind of a really nice size for like an entry-level book, whether this is an RPG or whether it's a story or something like that. And then The Trial of St. Gabriel, which was the story. Well, I don't know where my example of that book went. Oh, right here, right here. So that's why the Trial of St. Gabriel is 6x9. So that's the first one, 6x9. But it ended up being a little bit thinner. I didn't get to 48 pages. The story is what it is. And then even with back material and front material, didn't quite get to 48 pages. But I'm thinking this will. We will see. So that was the idea. It was a product standardization. If it needs to be more pages, okay, then it can be more pages. But we kind of designed it to be 48 pages. And then, so I was taking a cue from the Evil Hat books. It's like, okay, what kind of standardized product have we got? Yeah, visions of product type. It becomes even more beneficial to set that page allocation breakdown by section. Yeah, and I would probably do exactly. Actually, I would do exactly that, or even word breakdown, like when we were doing, which I will do in the future. When I was writing some of the Journey to Tree of Sorrow stuff, we were talking about number of words and then how we were going to allocate all of those words into each section and building out the outline of what the book is going to be first, allocate the words to it. And that's how those were written. This one is different because it was an adaptation of an existing RPG. So there you go. Are you use and page? I'm not sure what that means. Are you use and page thickness? You should not finish this game without checking out Eric the Viking. Oh yeah. The entire movie has jokes about beliefs and not seeing things that are not happening. Oh, sorry, I missed. What type of paper thickness are you using for it? Whatever is available on drive-through. So it's going to be if you've got the Trial of St. Gabriel, it's going to be the same page thickness as that, which might actually be a little bit thicker and maybe a little bit higher quality than what is in Fate Accelerated. So I don't think I have a whole lot of options on that as far as using the drive-through RPG printer. So it'll be whatever comes from drive-through RPG, which is nice. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot about that. So the Tales of Ravivania World Primer will be that size, and we really need a Faded Edge of that size as well. I mean, that's what was originally my thinking, some kind of like rules introduction, because we need to get playing that too. Gives me a target. That way it can't be, oh, it's just whatever. It can be whatever it needs to be. Gives me an idea. But you're right, this may have to be thicker because of the things that have to go in this book. We'll just have to see. We kind of designed the cover for that, but we'll have to see. Okay, so that is how you create it. Okay, so the Caretaker, we just said that. So you frequently take charge of critical tasks and see to the well-being of your fellow cultists. However, your dedication to supporting others leads you to overlook your own aspirations and desires, often resulting in personal setbacks. So character name, cult, trouble. So the trouble, yeah, so that was the right word. We checked that. Choose 3. Prioritize self-care, address a personal challenge, assert yourself in a conflict, confront or discipline someone, and then we'll put in a blank for you as well. Whereas the sway skills, choose 3, put the DC up here, assist someone by resolving a dilemma, demonstrate your worth to another, compliment someone with specificity, mentor someone in a new skill. And then you can make your 3 different asides. Everybody's got the same 3 asides. Uncover a hidden truth, hint at future events, tease or jest at another character's expense, and then there'll be a place to indicate if you have courage or sway. But like the player's pack, what I'm thinking about doing, I've got to look at Game Crafter for print-on-demand like tokens. I'm hoping, I just haven't gotten to that yet, because I've got layouts that for tokens with images and things that could have gone to be physically produced overseas as in plastic. They're being physically produced either way. But I mean, in like put into plastic counters and things like that. That may have to wait. I mean, we could add that on if we do the board game itself. That'll be done overseas. But since I'm trying to not do everything overseas, like the players pack have like punch boards with those kinds of tokens on it, done perhaps by Game Crafter. I got to look at the pricing on that. I just haven't gotten to that yet, so I'm working on it down here. Tomocrat. Okay, yeah, drive-through. I've liked it too. I've liked it too. So I hadn't used it a lot, but I know Lou had done drive-through, and when I got this, like, oh, well, this is a nice book. This is a nice book. So that's what kind of got me on the, well, maybe I should do some print on some use of drive-through RPG and print-on-demand books. Okay, so that's the Caretaker. Okay, the next is the critic. You are extremely dedicated to your cult and God. Others often don't live up to your high standards, and you don't mind calling them out over it. However, your constant scrutiny of others blinds you to your own imperfections. Character name, cult. Troubles. Rectify an issue of your making. Display compassion and support. Accept criticism gracefully. Acknowledge vulnerability. And then a blank. So sway skills, DC 5, are persuade someone through harsh criticism, highlight someone's imperfections with precision, deceive someone into achieving your goals, influence someone to concede their position. The conflicted. I was working on this one last night. PH says regarding Eric the Viking, I thought the Catholic priest not seeing the Viking gods is too much like people not understanding the cultists. Well, I'm going to have to watch it with that context. The conflicted. You love the cult life. You really do. But there are other things you really love as well, like your band, girls, drugs, beer, the bowling league, or some other mundane interest that draws your attention away from the elder gods. Other cultists will most certainly disapprove. Character name cult. Troubles. Resist the temptations of the mundane world. Demonstrate your unflagging loyalty to the cult. Prioritize the cult over your mundane interests. Effectively communicate with cultists who do not share your mundane interests. Sway skills, however, what do you think about these? I was writing these actually last night, and I was like, okay, we got to get the conflicted in here. So that's what I came up with for troubles for the conflicted. But then for the sway skills, handle a mundane situation dedicated cultists don't understand. Why don't we say more? Handle a mundane situation more dedicated cultists don't understand. That would be something that you could be able to do. The others, it's flummoxing the others. Draw upon your network of contacts in the mundane world. Employ your mundane skill to impress others. Shock your fellow cultists by being competent in the mundane world. I think that could be fun. And then check your asides here and so forth. The dandy. You're the ultimate showstopper, confident that everyone recognizes your charm and charisma. Your impeccable style, flair, and captivating gaze leaves others in awe. There's no room for improvement in your flawless self, at least according to you. Name cult troubles. So your troubles are show humility, empathize with others, do anything low-key, be helpful without reward. And then your sway skills are impress others with your style and panache, woo someone, overwhelm someone with your greatness, control the room non-verbally. The grouch. You're always in a grumpy mood and find little joy in life. Nothing is ever quite to your liking. Nothing is ever quite to your liking. Despite this attitude, you do possess a handful of redeeming traits that prevent the other cultists from making you the next sacrifice to the great old ones. However, you only deploy those qualities to manipulate the others. Troubles. Give in on something. Be friendly and inviting. Apologize and mean it. Show genuine affection. Whereas your sway skills are stare silently to win, complain until you get your way, show your good side to get away, and get someone else angry and bond with them. Okay, the lackey. We need some skills here for the lackey, so here we go. The lackey. Eager to please and desperate for approval, the lackey is the quintessential follower within the cult. They willingly carry out orders without... That should be you. You willingly carry out orders without question, craving validation from your superiors. Despite your loyalty, your tendency to be taken care of often leaves you overlooked and undervalued. Your tendency to be taken advantage of. You tend to be taken advantage of. Despite your loyalty, you tend to be taken advantage of, leaving you overlooked and undervalued. Does that sentence make sense? So we're going to need troubles and sway skills for them. The lackey, eager to please and desperate for approval. So I guess this should be you again. You are the quintessential follower and laborer. Quintessential follower and laborer within the cult. You willingly carry out, how about thankless tasks? Orders and thankless tasks without question, craving validation from your fellow cultists. We'll say that, from your fellow cultists. Despite your loyalty, you tend to be taken advantage of and are often overlooked and undervalued. Stare. I know. Brianna liked that one too. Stare silently to win. Dungeon Master says, how about the nerd highly knowledgeable in the mythos lore, but socially awkward? Basically the wizard. What if we give something like that to the LARPer? Let's see. So let me read that one more time. This passage up here. Eager to please and desperate for approval, you are, let me read this again. Eager to please and desperate for approval, you are the quintessential follower and laborer within the cult. You willingly carry out orders and thankless tasks without question, craving validation from your fellow cultists. Despite your loyalty, you tend to be taken advantage of and are often overlooked and undervalued. Okay, 3 things. The lackey should have a surge of power after some validation. Little tyrant. Yes. Okay. So we need things that they are bad at, and then things where they might get the upper hand. And I like that idea, PH, that we get some kind of validation. So that when something happens, there's validation or recognition of that. That would be something. Something that could happen here. One of these things is like they should get a sway skill to perform a laborious or what's the I just had the word monotony. What's the word I'm looking for monotony? Monotonous. Yeah. However you spell that. Monotonous task. Or see a laborious to completion. Oh, bad at saying no. Oh, that's a good one. Say no to requests for to a fellow cultist when asked for labor, for when asked to complete a task. That you should be bad at that. That is one of your troubles. James says, I would think cultists are second only to actors and comedians in the needs validation department. Oh, yeah, I think I got that one right. Yeah, got that one. Thank you, Lynn. Menial task? Yeah, menial task. Say no to instead of monotonous, or you think instead of laborial and or monotonous task to completion. overdoing things and not getting recognized by resentment. So we got little tyrants. So we got how do we word that? Because that sounds like a sway skill right here. And then overdoing things and not getting recognized for it. Troubles. Well, can we make a trouble receiving but how do we both have a trouble saying receiving recognition? That's going in the right direction, but well, it should be something like standing up for yourself. Standing up for yourself. Oh, being dismissed. I like choosing sides in a conflict. Trouble. Right. Trouble is like it's like confrontations. Right. Confrontations and choosing sides in a conflict. Even when you know that's probably enough. You can say even when you know know what's right. Standing up for yourself, confrontations, and choosing sides in a conflict. Respect. So I see being dismissed. Resentment. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what respect. Retro Nerd Girl is saying respect here. Confrontations and choosing sides in conflict. Another thing they would have trouble doing. Standing up for yourself, that has something to do with self-esteem. Sway skills. Maybe he goes after the new members of the group, but always ends up serving them. Okay, like trouble climbing. So I think what you're saying here is climbing the social hierarchy. That's impossible, or it's not impossible. It's a trouble here. So getting some type of climbing the social hierarchy of the cult. That, yeah. Accepting a compliment, Mike says. Standing up for yourself, confrontations, and what are they things that are good at? We need 3 things they're good at. Invisibility. Oh, no, wait a minute. I like that, Retro. So going unnoticed. Because others think of you as inconsequential. Yeah. Others see you as inconsequential. Oh, man, we got so many different ones right here. So what if we say going against the group? Or saying no. Maybe we don't need all of this about when asked to complete a task. Going against the group or saying no. With inaudibility as well. Let's see. Sway skills. So if you when would that when in a comedic situation would this person be up? It should be like succeeding when it has something to do with like just like willpower to get something done. And everybody else is like good at completing right the yeah, see a menial or monotonous task to completion. When everybody else gets distracted. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking, that everybody else is distracted and like, I can't do that. This is the character who plugs away at it. No, what about just impress someone with your attention to detail? Impress them with your attention to detail and focus. He's always prepared for others. Like he has a backpack full of goods that serve. Okay. Sway skills. Right. Be prepared. I like that. I like that. Always prepared for others. Be prepared. To meet the needs of others, or being how I don't. We're going to see how I'll have to look at the structure of this, but like being prepared to meet the needs of others. James says, of course, if I didn't know any better, I'd say, judging from the quality of these suggestions, there are several people in the chat who've experienced these precise issues, me included, believe it or not. Okay, I like that. So let's do a reread over that. A lot of these, I'm choosing sides in a conflict or being confrontational. A lot of these are starting at ing verbs. Yeah, I brought your favorite snacks with me, sir. Exactly. Yes, exactly. And when the police arrive, the lackey can successfully walk away without attracting attention, right? Okay, so the lackey, eager to please and desperate for approval, you are the quintessential follower and laborer within the cult. You willingly carry out orders and thankless tasks without question, craving validation from your fellow cultists. Despite your loyalty, you tend to be taken advantage of and are often overlooked and undervalued. Your troubles are going against the group or saying no, standing up for yourself, choosing sides in a conflict or being confrontational, climbing the social hierarchy of the cult. Sway skills. See a menial or monotonous task through to completion. Through to completion. Going unnoticed because others see you as inconsequential. Impress someone with your attention to detail and focus. Being prepared to meet the needs of others. Being prepared. What about as to meet the needs of others? I like that. Then your asides down here, uncover, hint, and tease, and place for courage and sway. Okay, then we go to the LARPer. Okay, so we got to work on this one too. What time is it? Doing good. All right, the LARPer. How about as a skill? No, I was putting the ing in. I haven't been consistent about that. So I guess these don't. Like the caretaker doesn't prioritize self-care, address a personal challenge, assert yourself in a conflict, confront or discipline someone. So that those are not INGs. So they could be rewritten. So that could be go unnoticed because others see you as going unnoticed. Sway skills go unnoticed. I don't think it's a problem. It could be climb the social hierarchy of the cult. Choose sides. Maybe that sounds better. Choose sides in a conflict or be confrontational. stand up for yourself, go against the group, or saying no. I mean, that just probably writes a little bit more tightly. Goes unnoticed. Does that have to be goes unnoticed? I think go unnoticed. Should either be prepared to or prepared so as to. Being prepared so as to, yeah, so as to meet the needs of others. Okay, the LARPer. So the LARPer, you aren't totally convinced by this worshiping elder gods thing, but hanging out with cultists is really good. I thought this was supposed to be cool. You aren't totally convinced by this worshiping elder gods thing, but hanging out with cultists is really cool, and you seriously dig their aesthetic. And hey, they accept you, so why not? On the other hand, they may just be keeping you around in case they need to sacrifice someone. Okay, so we need troubles here and then sway skills. So we actually said last time one of the sway skills, and I didn't get this reference in the beginning, but I do now, resolve a conflict with rock, paper, scissors. So that's one of our sway skills. This was blank, so this one needs to be blank too. So we need 4 troubles for the LARPer and sway skills. So actually, no, the LARPer, I think, should be the opposite. Instead of having a whole bunch of knowledge, troubles would be demonstrate true cult knowledge. Troubles are demonstrating true knowledge of the true eldritch knowledge. Does that convey that anytime you actually need to demonstrate true or eldritch knowledge to someone that you can't bluff, the LARPer would have a hard time with that. Oh, always in character? Ah, yeah, I see. So social step stool. It does invoke getting stepped on. I'm not sure if I would. If we need a phrase, I think like social step stool would be good if we need like a phrase for all of them. PH says belief weapon. Your weapon actually hurt a mystical beast because you believe it does. So yeah, right. This will save space. So this would, instead of demonstrating, I did it again. Demonstrate true eldritch knowledge. Always in character. So so the trouble would be break character even when necessary. The LARPer should be bad at understanding the worldview of the actual cultists. Yeah, so demonstrate true eldritch knowledge. Understand that worldview. Yeah. Let's see. How do we phrase that? So understand the spec of an actual cultist. PH says ridicule. LARPers are stronger in group. They lose strength when by themselves. So trouble is operating independently. operate independently, or independently operate independently, or make individual choices, or act decisively. Blind to their appearance, the non-larpers, but also the cultists are kind of blind to their appearance, the non-cultists too. Let's see, those not playing the game. So we demonstrate true eldritch knowledge, break character even when necessary, understand the perspective of an actual cultist, operate independently or act decisively when alone. Maybe something about self-awareness, but I feel like that goes for so many of these. Yeah. I like those 4. We'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, so what is the LARPer good at? When is he at his high point? When would the LARPer be winning in a comedy show? So Retro says sway or nay, a dependence on luck. Maybe this character does have an advantage of when luck would be in a determining factor of something, when that they use a sway skill on that. That is a natural. Okay, let me put I'll make the note about luck just to see if we come back to it, because I like that. Right. Mike says good at making things up that sound reasonable. James says convincing performances. They can talk people into things because their confidence and their character acting. That pairs well with this first one. That's demonstrate true eldritch knowledge. The reverse of that is fast talk someone into believing your like bluster. Bluster isn't exactly the right word. Fast talk someone into believing you know what you're talking about. Fast talk the uninitiated. What about just make it more general into doing what you want? That's a bit more general. You could make them believe that you've got something, you have more knowledge than you do, or let you into something. You're the fast talker. Let's see. Sway. When there are more LARPers watching, their power and weapons actually work for the power of collective beliefs. But how many LARPers are going to be around? That'd have to be NPCs. So that would contrast with operating independently or acting decisively when alone. So that they do have like a power in numbers. Let's see. James says, and I agree about unawareness of how they appear. All of the cults do that, but they're all flavor doing it differently. So is there some way that we could turn that into a positive? So, I mean, the trouble would be self-aware of their appearance. Maybe this one should go. Should this one go? Understand the perspective of an actual cultist, and this one turn into something like trouble is a trouble would be self-aware. Of your something and the actions of others. Be self-aware of your and the opinions of others and others' opinions of you. Let's see. Inflated sense of confidence to do things others would not. Oh, I do like that. Undertaking a difficult task. Undertaking a task other cultists think is difficult or dangerous. Should this be eldritch or occult? Luck smiles upon you when you need it. Yeah, like so is that that would kind of go undertaking a task other cultists think is difficult. This is probably because you don't believe it. You don't truly believe it. It's like, okay, I'll do that. So it could be yeah, so that's accomplish a task heavily dependent on luck. What do we think about those? See, I think that people tend to like the lack of self-awareness, and I feel like understand the perspective of another cultist might go, might kind of demonstrate true occult knowledge. Let me save this. So, do you think this looks good? Be self-aware of your appearance. This should be like appearance and the opinions of others about you. See what people are saying. Mike says that works. James says, I love that as a trouble. They're so convinced it's a game, they walk out into traffic. Right. I didn't know it was impossible. So he didn't know it was impossible. So he did it. Well, can we generalize this one? Be self-aware of self-aware, be aware, be aware of something about being aware and actual danger. Oh, I know that's a good one. Something like that. Self-aware of so be aware of the opinions of others. Well, what do we just? What like, is it enough to just remove this? Be aware of actual danger. You like the change to self-awareness? Okay, both I think. Okay, being self-aware of others' true opinions. Or awareness of actual danger. Demonstrate true occult knowledge. Break character even when necessary. Be self-aware of others' true opinion about you. Maybe operate independently or act decisively when alone should go. Trouble facing reality. An actual martial artist or HEMA practitioner may make them lose confidence in their combat skills. But again, facing reality is something that a lot of these cultists would have trouble doing. Be self-aware of others. But I like the, so it's possible that be aware of actual danger. That one just seems like it would be something really funny to have in a show. Yeah, I think it is too. Be aware of actual danger. So this one's a really important one to keep too, the self-awareness. Be self-aware of others' true opinion of you. Think that's a necessary part of the LARPer stereotype. I do like this. Let me go right at the top. The LARPer. You aren't totally convinced by this worshiping elder gods thing, but hanging out with cultists is really cool, and you seriously dig their aesthetic. And hey, they accept you, so why not? On the other hand, they may just be keeping you around in case they need to sacrifice someone. Demonstrate true troubles include demonstrate true occult knowledge, break character even when necessary. Be self-aware of others' true opinions of you. Be aware of actual danger. Operate independently or act decisively when alone. Sway skills. Resolve a conflict with rock, paper, scissors. Accomplish a task heavily dependent upon luck. Fast talk the uninitiated into doing what you want. Undertaking a task other cultists think is difficult or dangerous. Wait, is there something about age? Like older LARPers gain more points to choose equipment? I think that's going too deep. I think that's too much. I think that's for this particular rule system. Okay, I'll think about that. Because this is odd because we've got an additional one, so we want to make sure that it's phrased so that it's consistent with all the others. Lynn says, be careful when you do the final edit to make sure that all the troubles have the same semantic polarity. The statements are things that the character is bad at. Right. So do we, so bad at, so you would say like awareness of actual danger, self-awareness, like the Tom Kratz says, I like the idea of you think potentially get rid of this one, potentially because do we have someone who's totally clueless? I don't know. Some of the others might also fit that. Okay, I like that. All right, I like that. I'll think about that when I come back through. We've got the Maverick here. So this one seems to be built out. So this is what we've got for the Maverick. The Maverick, you're a wild spirit who scoffs at the very notion of rules. For you, conformity is a foreign concept, and you relish forging your own path, regardless of societal norms or expectations. Whether it's a rebellious streak or a deep-seated aversion to authority, you thrive on independence and autonomy. You do things your way. Your troubles are cooperate with someone, see the error of your ways, get someone to trust you, or show humility. Sway skills are show your way to be the best way, surprise everyone, make someone else feel cool, show off big time. Well, you do choose from these. Like you're supposed to choose 3, and you've got a blank here too. So we were putting 4 down. We were putting down 4 troubles and 4 sway skills, but you're supposed to choose 3 in both cases. So you are making a choice here. And then plus you have a blank where you could write something else down. LARPer, contagious happiness. When you're in the zone, there's a chance your enthusiasm embraces the others. Yeah, the troubles. Okay, so that is the Maverick. So the metachromism is you are better suited to living in another time and so out of place in the modern world. You cling to familiar ancient routines and struggle to keep pace with the fast-paced and struggle to keep up with the fast-paced and intricate nature of modern living. Are you actually from a different time or are you just delusional? Who can say? So troubles would include modern tech and conveniences, social norms, pop culture. See, this is very general written right here. Modern tech conveniences, social norms, pop culture, holding down a job. Sway skills, including possession of forbidden eldritch knowledge. So that's good. This one actually has that as their strength, whereas the LARPer does not. Possession of forbidden eldritch knowledge. Point out your past successes to others. Pretend to be more important than you are. Impress someone using antiquated skills or language. Oh, Lynn says, I think cluelessness encompasses both the self-awareness and awareness lines. Well, yeah, writing them back together. Clueless of the true opinions of others and actual danger. Clueless of the true opinions of others and actual danger. That would allow us to leave, operate independently, right? Of course, you don't have to take that one. Like I said, it's a choice. I mean, they're choices. One of them will be left out, and you could have a blank too if you wanted to write your own. So that might combine those two. Yeah, the awareness and self-awareness. That was, I think, what was making that difficult to write together. But clueless of the true opinions of others and of actual danger. I kind of like that phraseology right there. Lynn says you can save quite a bit of space by removing the blanks and simply stating them at the beginning that you make up your own. Yeah, but this is intended to be the character sheet. So if you like this right here, it's going to be formatted as the character sheet. So you would print off this particular page. That's why I do want to have like check marks right here, you know, place for you to check them, place for you to check the cult list and things like that, because I want you to be able to print out this section of the book and use it as your character sheet. So that blank will actually be a blank line where if it were printed out, you'd be able to write on it, because this is your character sheet. TH says, interview with the vampire. You seek someone to listen to your ancient and tragic story of your importance before the world becomes unbearable. You seek someone to listen. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's what's, yes. Okay. The novitiate. Okay. This one has not been done at all. So this is one that I thought we needed to have because Ben is so iconic here. What time is it? We don't have a whole lot more time here. We got a few minutes. I'm not going to be working this week, so we might be able to get together to finish this up, because I want to think about this when I get back. I got to go to the winery this afternoon, but I'm trying to like focus all of my effort on getting the text done here on this, so that maybe James, we can send it to James, so James can do an edit pass on it, if you will, James, and then start the layout on this. I would also like to be able to send this to other people, talking about different shows that could be on, or live streams or podcasts about the Cultists. But also, you know, I don't often see a RPG based around a web show. Like, this isn't often done. So I hope that maybe we could also contact some other tabletop game people who stream and stuff on YouTube, and send some samples of this to them as well. So we'll come up with that list. We'll have to come up with that list. But not right now, not this second. I mean, you may have ideas. But well, where was I going with that? But we'll make a big list and try to do a whole bunch of outreach. So this needs to be like Ben here. So the novitiate, so that one still needs to be done here. The outsider, this one I've also got to adjust the word of, because they're all outsiders. This is the idea, I mean, in a certain sense. But I wanted this, like, maybe this is the hardcore. Maybe the word would be the hardcore, because you have largely left the modern world to fully embrace the cult life. Your hangout is even considered hardcore by the other cultists. And in some of this, I was thinking of Sherry and Carrie. Sherry might be this outsider, but that's not quite the right word. She's outside. She's kind of left the entire world, whereas most of the cultists are still sort of like dealing, in both worlds, the modern world, the mundane world, and in the cult life. And that's the conflict, a lot of the humor and the conflict that you've got in it. You've got some that have gone completely into the cultists living, like Sherry and Carrie, who are now just living in the woods. And when you go and see them, you cross into the woods and you're like in the other world. And they don't have that same connection to the modern world. The apotheosis, maybe. I see where you're going with that. I don't think that's quite the right word. Because this person is doing what the others only dream of, right? Yeah, I mean, these people are living the dream of the other cultists, of most other cultists. Yeah, there's a word. There's going to be a good word for that. Lynn says novitiates have trouble understanding group dynamics. That is a good one. Trouble understand group dynamics. That's an excellent trouble for that. I don't know if there's a word for a person who's undergoing apotheosis in real time, but it's not gods. That's like the novitiate, I think. The aspirant or the acolyte, that's like the novitiate, I think. The novitiate, understanding group dynamics. Yeah. So something like finding a place. Find your place in the group. Yeah, maybe novitiate can communicate better with non-cultists and act more normally. They could, but remember, we've got the conflicted. That's one of their things, is that they can handle mundane situations that others don't understand because they're trying to straddle both worlds. So I don't want to do too much that conflicts with the conflicted. James says, Elder Goth. This is a callback to my own subculture in my youth. They have moved on from youth and integrated their selected aesthetic and careers. They have succeeded. They have moved on from youth and integrated their selected aesthetic and careers. And Elder Goth is, you're talking about, you're saying that this should be, instead of the outsider, the Elder Goth. I think that's what you're saying, that this could be the Elder Goth. Is there a word other than goth? Or it could be transcendent. Apotheosis has, to me, it implies something about God, but transcendent, the transcendent. But I like what the Elder Goth, or it could be the Elder Transcendent. Hey, Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Good to see you. Novitiates may also suffer from hero worship and be blind to others. I love that one because that's also, I'm thinking about Ben here, and that's exactly, Ben does not understand like anything, um, like Rob's flaws. See the flaws in more advanced cultists. Expendable for the novitiate or leaker. We could say 10 could be seen as an expendable. So this one's different from the lackey. So the lackey is the novitiate is still part of the group. I mean, so the lackey isn't a certain part either, but the lackey is probably is there, but it's not really considered part of the group. At least that's my understanding of this. Whereas the novitiate is on his way to become accepted by the group. Has it been accepted? Like you've been accepted that you will be accepted eventually one day, or you're on the path to that. Whereas the lackey has no way out. You know, it has no way out. That's the way that I'm thinking of it. Because climbing the novitiate should theoretically be able to climb the social ladder, as Ben does. So Ben gains self-confidence and is able to expand, grow the social ladder or climb the social hierarchy of the cult. Whereas someone who's playing the lackey like has no hope. If we go the transcendent route, that should be a transcended. Expendable. Yeah, for the no. Yeah, it seems expendable. I'll put no to that or move that to lackey. So if you say this, the transcended. The Elder Goth, that sounds like so much. That sounds fun. Or transcendent Elder Goth or something like that. So your hands even because it's hardcore by others. We'll think about this. The Elder Goth fits the levity of the setting though. Yeah. And it's also I really like that. I'm not sure I would know what that is, but that's probably okay. Let's see. Let's go. We'll think about that. We need troubles and sway skills for. Let me make sure for this one right here. Delete these. We're gonna have to wrap up soon, so let's just look at what we also have. We have the provocateur. So the provocateur is largely done here. The provocateur says, "Oh, an elder goth is a phrase can mean whatever you want. It doesn't have to be how I described it." Oh, okay, okay. Well, elder goth seems like it's winning then. All right, let's go elder goth. Okay, provocateur. Your satisfaction comes from teasing others and manipulating them to do your bidding. Your behavior can be mildly unsettling or greatly disruptive, and forming close relationships is often challenging for you. Character name, cult, troubles. Be honest with someone, avoid manipulating others, hand over your power, just let it go. Sway skills include bore someone into doing something, incite negative emotion in someone, control the room by constantly talking, ignore someone to force your point. Oh, now that one would be maybe they are the ones who are because they're in the learning mentality that like when others think they can just do something, like they're the one who would actually find out about that and like go to the books and learn. So like learning new rituals or tasks And just writing out, especially things others think they already know. Or like likewise, maybe this is the same thing, maybe it's different, but see, whereas this is more about the character flaws, because they can do no wrong. Whereas this might be discover a problem others overlook. Novitiates have something to do with the view of new things. Yes. That the first time new view, willingness to read, but also a trouble is this doesn't quite fit what Lynn was talking about with the phraseology, but the idea of like being overawed by demonstrations of occult competence or something like that. Oh, Micah says, I love the Elder Goth. All right, we have that winner then. And then the final, we have True Believer. Okay, we got to work on True Believer too as well. Novitiates are good at seeing the strengths in other cultists. That could be like lift someone up by telling them about their strengths. Easily impressed, right? You're easily impressed. Yes, Ben is definitely that, easily impressed. Just taking notes here. I'll rewrite this later. But yes, easily impressed. That's yes. Overawed and easily impressed. That's probably just something that's enough to be often just overawed and easily impressed. And then that would probably be so provocateur and then true believer. So what have I got here? I got to write some more stuff here. But the fanatic, not so much into judging. This is probably just notes here. Not so much into judging of others, but just completely invested in the love of the elder gods and bringing them to earth. So this is the true believer. They are deep into this. So I'll have to write that one out. So I suppose when we come back, novitiate, elder goth, provocateur, and true believer need to be worked on, and then the cults. So I'm going to work on that this evening. I guess I'll be back this evening because I'm just trying to stay focused on this. I think we're doing really well, especially with the start of the having all the rules done from the start. See part number 1 if you wanted to go actually how this was how we were looking at the rules. So check out part number 1. Let's see here. The elder goth would probably be akin to the Addams Family for me, or early goth rock. Yeah, I can see that. So let's I'm going to have to get out of here soon, but I want to go ahead and show you. James says, I love it so far. I know it has so much character. It has so much character. I'm looking forward to seeing Brianna's layout with it too. So just so you know, here we go. We are dual streaming here since this is a cultist topic on the Cultist YouTube channel. So if you are here and if you've not seen the show that we are actually talking about here, this is the show that I made. The Cultists, I'm the creator, producer, and co-writer of the show. The Cultists is a mockumentary web show about a group of modern-day Lovecraftian cultists who just want to worship Cthulhu in a world full of people who don't understand. So if you have not been over to the Cultists YouTube channel, Some of you may be watching there. Please do hit the like button. Hit the like button on this, and we'll try to get this out to more people. There might be people out there on the subscribed who YouTube's not pushing this out to. But if you have not watched the Cultists and you are over here on the Heath Geekverse channel, now would be a great time to go over to the Cultists YouTube channel and watch season 1, so you know, and come back and maybe have some additional recommendations and things like that, because we really need watch hours on the new Cultist channel. So that's where the Cultist channel is. If you're watching over on the Cultist channel and you're not part of Heath's Geekverse, where we typically do this live stream is on the Heath's Geekverse channel. So there's a lot of tabletop gaming material now over here. We've been separating out a bunch of the different channels. We went through a whole bunch of that last fall and winter. So all the tabletop gaming stuff is on here. This is a joint program. So we'll see. And then also, let me just make sure that you sign up for the $500 dice giveaway. $500 dice giveaway. If you want to know when all this goes live, get on the mailing list here. Oh, Retro Nerd Girl says, I had a ball listening and chiming in. Had a wonderful week. Have a wonderful week ahead, everyone. Yeah. And I may be able to, I'll put out on the Discord server. I'll put the Discord server link again, because we need to talk about this before next week for sure. Because I need to be able to get this to a point where layout can really start happening in on Wednesday. But sign up, Discord server, that keeps you on touch with things. And then next week we'll continue to start working on getting the Kickstarter page up and to a point where people can be previewing it. At least we're not going to launch until we get all this ready, and then we'll do some marketing. We'll get the word out, and then who knows? We'd love to be able to do another season and work on a horror film too. Oh, yep. Barbarians, Lemuria, and Eric the Viking. Yes. Let me just make sure that I put. I know I will see this if I go over here. I want to work. The season 3 scripts are close to done. I was resisting the urge to go and work on them again because I was trying to work on all of these things. Where did my thing go? Here it is. I'm just going to make a note someplace for Magic C, Barbarians of Lemuria. I put that someplace else, but I just put it in here as well. Elder Goth is a winning. All right. So, all right, I will be, I'm going to go to the winery this afternoon, but then I'll have everybody have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being here with me. This was really great. I love working on these things together with everybody. So I will see everybody, I hope. I don't know what day it was. Maybe Monday, maybe Wednesday. Tomorrow's Monday. Could be tomorrow, as early as tomorrow. Have some morning grinds, get back to some early morning grinds, especially if I can get some work done this afternoon. And then, but go forth, be creative, be constructive, get stuff done, everybody. I will talk to you later. Bye.